Good morning to everyone. My name is Bobbie Richardson. I am a channeler and a seer, and I am doing a live tarot reading this morning, which will be really into the energy of Gaia, of humanity, of what we're using to ascend into higher dimensions and so forth. So I'm guiding everybody through that through my channelings, which is mainly on Thursdays, but today is going to be more of a fun kind of an entertainment thing. We have free Chatbar open for those who want free readings as well after the general reading. Oh, that was a bit of a round title, wasn't it? Okay, let's get into this. There is a message that I got last night, and I wrote it quickly down on my phone for the energy that's happening at the moment. It's really important to look at self at the moment and keep coming back to self. So there's nothing more important than how you feel right now, because how you feel sets the tone for how everyone else is going to feel about you. If we really go into that, that's taking responsibility for who you are, and having an understanding that there is nobody else outside of you that's more responsible for you in your life than yours. So you make your choices to what makes you happy, and then everyone else will feel that happiness and work around it. And if it is that your happiness irks somebody, then they all go find somebody else that makes them happy, and that's actually going to create a happier world, right? But if we're constantly seeking outside of ourselves for someone else to fulfill our happiness, they can't be responsible for that all the time. They have to go do their own life. They have to go to work. They have to do their thing, right? And then you're left depleted because you haven't created that happiness within yourself. So the energies at the moment are cause and effect of understanding that we're the ones that are responsible for our own creation of our own lives, of our own decisions, our own choices. And then that means the only person who can heal you is really deep down you. You can go to someone for guidance, but that's you seeking help outside yourself. Still, you have to do the work. You have to face up to how you're really thinking and feeling about yourself. And that's really important at the moment. I've got a few people in the chat bar, so I have to get my glasses on for that one. Hey, Cherie. Hey, Debbie. Morning, Annie. Hey, Tony. Good to see you. Been on holidays. Nice, though. Hey, Jennifer. Good to see you. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Mark. Nice to see everybody. So we're going to pull some oracle cards to begin with, I decided this morning. Also, I did a video on the pineal gland. Every now and then I bring up my stories on the pineal gland because I was gifted a lot of information back in 2009, 2010 about that. And I wanted to bring it up because the world's literally catching up to what I was given back then. Some of the information I've seen scientists come up with the same information as what I've been gifted by when I was channeling back then. But I wasn't live back then. I was just keeping it to myself because I didn't think I was worthy enough, which has all changed in the last 2 years. And if anyone else has followed my journey the last 2 years, I've just decided that's it. I'm shining. I'm doing me. And everything's changed. So that's what I promote for everybody else to do because it works. And it doesn't matter how crazy ass you think everyone else is going to see you. If you are you only gravitate people towards you that love you anyway because you love who you are. And it's really important. Okay, let's get into this for the general energy of today. Up from the depths, releasing difficulty. Wow, that's beautiful. That gives me a really good feeling of release. It's like, it's like there's an expectation on us all to do certain things, to be in certain places, to have certain things happen. And when you just go, you know what, I'm just doing me, even like for Christmas, I'm just doing me this Christmas and seeing what happens out of that. The last 2 years, if anything, they've shown us that when we're just brought back to ourselves and to our immediate family, it seems to be like a release of expectations. And I think that's one of the biggest things with this card, is what this card is telling us, is to release those expectations that we think other people expect of us and just be us, just do us. She's walking up those stairs though, and look, it's at the top. It's just this brilliant sun. And when she gets to the top, I'm sure all this grey area down here is just going to show her, like shine a light on something beautiful at the top of those stairs, because she's now releasing everything that all the burdens that she thought she had to withhold. I do this because I love to do it, because I feel this is who I am, this is my personality. And I hid it a lot because I thought, who am I to speak up about all the messages I'm getting in my head? And it's so different. The messages I'm getting that I'm receiving are so different to what everyone else is saying the world is. And then I just become me, and look what's happening. We're turning into our own ascended masters. So this says devoted spirits with specific intentions. Devoted spirits with specific intentions. In the end, even those devoted spirits that come and help us and guide us, who are they? They're not following anybody. They're being themselves. They're just being them. They're doing them. If they feel a pull to go help guide somebody or be there for someone in that moment, then they do that. Some people are going to be in survival mode, and so go help them if you're not in survival mode. But do it from your heart. Whatever you do, check in. Am I doing this from my heart, or am I doing this because I feel I'm expected to? If I feel I'm expected to, I'll sit by myself and go, I need to release this, because you can't find your heart and your heart's value of what you're wanting to do or feeling a genuine heartfelt pull to do, when your mind is already saying you're expected to do it. And it's really interesting when I release that expectation. Usually I just go and do it because it comes from my heart anyway, but at least you're doing it with the right energy, and that makes a bigger difference rather than begrudgingly. Just see what else pops up on this. Hey, Snizella. Hey, Sandy. Whoop. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you guys. Oh, we've got a whole heap that just fell out then. So I'll see what these all say. So we've got creation. And like I say, just about every week, we're learning to create our own reality. Soul expression, something new. And this is really us turning into our own new self, our own, who are we? What do we love about ourselves? Let's shine that. If you can't find something, just find the smallest thing that you love about yourself. If you can't find something, just go, you know what? I love the way I do my hair, and then build from that. And start to say, you know what, I'm going to do what I like. I love the way I put my makeup on, or I love the way I don't wear makeup, or I something outside of yourself to begin with, and then start bringing it in. I love the way I talk to myself when I'm doing dishes. I love how I don't think of anything when I'm doing some hard work and it doesn't feel like hard work, or, start to bring it in an internal talk within yourself. And then you are shifting, you're starting to turn the focus instead of outside into judgment on everybody else, and bringing it back to what you love about you and building on that. We want to build a better relationship with ourselves, and also a better relationship with our intuition too, so that we can step into a wholeness of ourselves. Because when we're fighting within ourselves, we're literally creating the fight outside of ourselves. There will always, if you're begrudgingly saying something nasty to yourself, oh, stop doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. You watch. Someone will come up to you and tell you, don't do that. And then you'll get angry with them because they're actually telling you what you've already been telling yourself. But you're angry with yourself, right? So now you've got someone to point outside yourself to get angry with as well. You start to realize it all comes back to you. So mindfulness as well, mindfulness and peaceful presence, quiet mind. And this is how we do create something new, because when we come into this peaceful mind, we find spaces. It's really cool. And it's one thing that taught me is that when you quieten your mind enough to find yourself, you find, because you're not being angry and self-loathing talk within yourself, you find spaces where you feel free to expand into something new or something different, and you start to hear your heart's desires and where you want to go to. So actually the mindfulness and the quiet still mind actually expands your reality outside of the perpetual burdens of a mind coming down on self. Here's the angels of the 7 chakras: power, truth, and connection. These are all really powerful cards. We've got up from the depth, ascended masters, creation, mindfulness. And now we've got the 7 chakras. It's interesting that they say angels of the 7 chakras. It brings me to a story when I was literally attacked by an entity, because I see things that others can't see. I saw this entity attack me. I felt it. I smelt it. The whole thing. It was very, very, very real to me. And when that happened, because I was literally lost in another dimensional space where my mind was so in fear that I projected this thing outside of myself that attacked me physically. And I'm not saying that it was just within my mind. It was physically there, but still my energy allowed that to come in. But the way that I got out of it was I saw all of my chakra. I didn't actually see all of them coming into one ball of light, but I kind of knew that was what was happening. And it was like all my chakras just went into a ball of light between my sacral and my heart chakra, and it exploded out into one big light, just a love bomb, yeah. And it's like I'd risen myself from the separation of who I am in the different levels. So we have all these different levels of ourselves and who we are. And it always reminds me also of Snow White and the 7 dwarves. So she's got to handle all those 7 dwarves, all those emotions that she has outside of herself. See, I find fairy tales have all these hidden little secrets in them. And so it's like I just accepted every part of myself. And the way I did it was, when he attacked me, he had his arm around me, and I just went, I'm going to get out of this. I don't know how, but I am going to get out of this. And I let go of how. And so if we go through our lives going, you know what, I know where I'm going. I'm going to a peaceful mind. I'm going to a still mind. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know where I am going to end up. And when you know definitely where you're going to end up, that's where you're going to go. But sometimes we have to go through, the shadow self and realizing where you're giving your power away and all that, and dropping all of that sort of stuff to get there as well. We have the emotional desert, and inactivity and isolation. So this card reminds me of a lack of love. Although 11 is a place of manifestation. So when we get to a point of releasing, like up from the depths, and we're releasing ourselves, we're realizing where we are lacking within our self-love, which is just a desert, no life, just sand, no beautiful oasis or anything like that. It gives us a space within ourselves of, once we release that, okay, now I see where that lack is, and so now I can build on that And so the emotional desert and inactivity and isolation, almost like the Hermit card, brings us into our inner thoughts and our inner desires and our inner analog. And then we can start to build from that. Like if we see that as a stillness as well, we come back to ourselves and we can see what we actually wanted to create all along. And it might have been the same thing as what you were going for, but it's coming from a place of a self-love rather than projection and judgment outside of self. And then the last card that came up was ancestors, historical connections and purposes. So ancestors to me are people that have passed over and done had their lives and have passed into the between worlds. Because I see that humanity has been caught in such a profound loop, I don't feel that they have ascended, even when they die, into another freer dimensional space. They're kind of caught in an in-between place where they need to always come back and redo their life over and over again. But I'm finding this card, when you free yourself, that you are freeing all your ancestors after that, that are still in the ethers. So say your grandmother died or something, or your grandfather or a brother or someone died. When you free yourself, you give them their life purpose because you freed yourself. So they're like, well, I was part of that person's life and I helped them ascend into a freer, expanded life of peace and tranquility. So that means it frees me because my life had purpose, even though it was hard, even though I was caught in a loop. It frees them as well. So when we're doing this work, we're not only freeing ourselves, we're freeing ancestors and those that felt like they are caught in that loop as well. So that's really cool too. We are our ancestors. Well, that's it. We're born into, I'm just reading Annie's comment there. We can be our great grandmother, come back into this life as well. And we're all one at the core of everything, but it does free everything that has anything to do with you, which is really cool. I'll just get the Osho deck as well and just see what Osho has to say. 2. Hey, Chelly. Okay. Let's see what else we've got here. I did a video recording of my home as well, so I might be putting that together to show everybody where I've ended up from this little unit to this massive house, beautiful house. I love it. Okay. Just so that it's I mean, I'm not going to pretend there's a bit of ego there, like wow, but also it's my genuine reason for doing that is to just prove to others that when you do this work, it works. We can create the life that we love. We can, and bring in the people that we love by doing the inner work. It's fun. Okay, and then you get to meet my little Penny. She's off with my partner at the moment, going to meet her, I would call cousins. His daughter has 2 dachshunds as well, 2 sausage dogs as well. So, oh no, he's going to see her tomorrow. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's see what else happens here. Osho, creativity, right? We're not just learning to create works of art and music, which is vital to our soul wanting to be here. We're also creating our life. But when we create, you know how they repress that in school and belittle it and say, it's not that worthy. it's a sideline thing, that sort of thing. Really, creativity and beauty and the imagination turned into something amazing. When we see the world and we create around us like that, if it makes your soul sing, then your soul wants to be here more to experience more and have more adventure with that creativity. If humanity was just in the logic side of itself, it would be in the four walls of an office building, stuck there day after day doing exactly the same thing, feeling like it's actually productive because that's what it's been told to do, just be productive, and it's boring, and the soul doesn't like it. It wants to create, it wants to expand, it wants to get out, it wants to do things for itself. So that's why that card's coming up as well. We're creating not only beauty outside of ourselves, but a life that's worth living, an adventure that's worth living, something that makes our soul sing, and so important. Gaia doesn't just create the same stuff over and over. She's got an array of beauty that she creates and allows to be integrated into her soil and be part of who she is. And she has many different varied plants and so forth, and it's always changing. And that's the other thing with logic just being in charge. It doesn't like change because it wants to know what's coming, and change means it doesn't know. So it holds till death do part kind of thing to something that did work eons ago and not necessarily going to work now. Where Gaia, when she's creating and birthing all this life, she's constantly changing. So if one animal doesn't survive or is instinct and meant to be instinct, it makes space for maybe 10 other animals that come into her reality, because it's needed to have been let go for that other energy to come in and those 10 other animals to be here. And that means that when that animal had passed, it might have a desired outcome to be able to be born into one of the new animals and expand its reality into something else. Change is a necessary part of any expansion. Look, we have laziness. It's very logical laziness that just sits there in the same sort of, like, see the polarity game, the chessboard game back there. It just sits there and it's starting to freeze up over here. So to be frozen into that means that we don't move. And yeah, we're happy there. But you know what? After a while, that freezing cold ice he's sitting on is just going to freeze his butt, and he's going to go, I want to move, but I can't, because this is what made me happy 10 years ago, so it should make me happy now. Not necessarily. What else have we got here? What's popping out? We have new vision coming in as well. Creativity, laziness, and new vision. An expansion, and I know we got new vision last week as well. This is a massive expansion. See, there's a person under here. I don't know if you can see it, but he's bent over, and he's just bent over. There's his head here, face here, and his back. He's bent over. He feels very vulnerable, very scared, crawling on the ground, not moving fast. This person, look at his wings, just array, have just been freed. And that's the release card again, isn't it? And moving towards what we really, really know we truly desire. And every moment, we go through the day-to-day life. We do. We wake up and we're like, we've got to do this. Take a breather and go, okay, see what I've got to do. I see what's in my diary. I see what I'm supposed to do. But now let's feel into, just for one moment, I want to give as much energy into what I desire to do. Not necessarily that you're going to do it, but even if you put the energy into what do I desire to do, if you did that every morning, eventually you'll find your day starting to turn to what you have to do into what you desire to do will start to become become your reality, but it can take a bit of time. So we have the creator again. We really are into creating a new reality. Guidance, which comes up with those ancestors. Wow, Osho is just bringing the same cards up that I had for the other cards. We have friendliness as well. When we are friends with ourselves, within ourselves, we bring in the guidance and the help that we need to create the reality that we desire to. Just automatically happens. Guidance is a big thing at the moment, isn't it? You know, like I always say, that it comes back to ourselves and how we feel about ourselves moving into this new reality and all of that. But that's not to say that we don't ask or listen to the advice of others or angelic beings, benevolent beings, or whatever. Doesn't mean that we don't listen to that. It just means that we're always got the reins when we do listen. So if I ever come across someone that's guiding another person or guiding myself and I get led to them for their information, I've always got the reins. So that means that if they say something that's not for me, I'll just go, that's not for me, that's for somebody else. What you said before though, that's for me. Because I'm the one that's guiding. I'm the one that's, got the horses in front of me and showing me where my path, my heart truly feels like it needs to go towards. So never ever give the reins of your reality, even to a guide, even to someone who seems to be, in a higher frequency than you. You are source energy, and so you need to take responsibility for those reins and what you decide to come in and what you decide to release. It doesn't matter if the person's a grand leader or whatever, or a spiritual person who can manifest miracles, and someone who can manifest crystal balls in their hand. Sorry, I just have a crystal ball in front of me here. Even if they had that magical ability, even if someone turned up in a UFO in front of you and was just the most beautiful, benevolent, you felt that wash of love off them, never, ever, ever, ever give your reins of your life to them and say that they lead you. Take advice, seek counsel, but always come from your own heart and how you feel about yourself. Always, always, always. You are the queen and king of your own reality. Be that. Be that. It's important. Was that crow calling of spirit message? Yeah, I can hear them too in the background there. That's amazing that this mic picks up the crow and everything. That's really cool. Okay. Let's see what... I haven't picked up the love cards for a while. See what love cards say. And then we'll get into a free reading for anyone in the chat bar if you need. So yeah, go check out my latest video on the pineal gland wisdom that I put up. Got some great comments on that one too. I'm getting better at putting these videos together. It's like I'm preparing for something, and I just keep on improving myself over and over until I get what feels right. And I'll just keep doing it for the rest of my life because that's who I am. I know where I'm going. Okay. I'm not going away, that's for sure. So... Actually, I feel like I only just started my life, my real life. What's the love card say for general energies? It'd be interesting just to see what they pull out instead of just for a romantic couple. Nice, look at that. Give your relationships a chance. Work on your partnerships. And that's actually interesting that that came up, because I got the message the other day that if you're really, really, really wanting something to happen and you can't seem to get anywhere, no traction, no traction on that subject. Say, for instance, it was your career that you wanted to take off. I got a really valuable message. Instead of focusing in on the career because you're so focused in on it and wanting it to happen, it's almost like a try. And when you try something, the universe just gives you more to try at. It doesn't actually gift you what you are desiring, because it's just giving you the energy that you're projecting, which is trying. I'm trying. And so you just keep trying for the rest of your life on that subject, say for a career, or finding love, or whatever it is. But say we'll take the example of finding career. What I got was that instead focus on something completely opposite and just let go of the career, but be involved in it, still do the work, but don't put all your focus in on it. Focus in on your relationships, say for instance, and find, because you already got that sus or something, find something that you've already got working for you, and focus in on that more. And then what will happen is, because you're focused in on something that you really truly love and that you're really good at bringing into your life, then it bleeds into the other areas of your life. And so it helps you expand in your career as well. So that's one of the messages I just got as well, because sometimes I'm so pushy to get my career up and going that I end up doing that trying thing. And then I was told, focus in on a relationship, which I found, 7-8 months ago, and it's going so well. So I started to go, okay, I'm going to put more energy into that. And now I feel like my career, all the messages are just flowing through easier, and I'm just letting it happen instead of trying so hard. So maybe that's what that message was about there. Yay. Okay, so yes, if you would like to have a reading, a card reading, just say, hey, and I'll get my tarots out. Yes, please. Debbie Oliver. Oh, I'll just shuffle them again, because just thinking too, I might get those other tarots. Okay. Yeah, it feels better. Debbie Oliver. Debbie Oliver. Okay, so you've got the Ace of Pentacles, which is a new abundance wanting to come in for you. There's something new on the horizons, a wish granted, something new coming your way. It might have to do with, you might need to travel, it might have to do with travel, or it might be something that you're traveling towards, something new. But be careful, like the Page of Cups came in upside down, and the Page of Cups is somebody offering you a gift, but you might not be ready to accept that gift. So just be aware of how you're feeling through, if you're desiring something, and like bringing up for me the fact of sometimes we don't trust others to come into our life to gift us something, because we feel like we are, we owe them or something like that. And so in not trusting that natural flow of energy coming in, even if it is just a gift to you and then move off and not give them anything in return. If you don't trust that natural flow of receiving, then you're not going to find the Ace of Pentacles in your life. You're not going to find that gift coming towards you. So be aware of how, in the end, everybody that you allow into your life has to come from a trust within yourself. It's got nothing to do with trusting them. Do you trust yourself enough to allow someone to come into your life that can help you on your journey? there's something that might be a little bit stuck there. I feel it just above my heart, like it's just a little bit, it's not a big thing. It's like a little knot that they're trying to help shift in your energy so that you can receive even bigger gifts and go on even beautifuler journey. So that is for Debbie and Michelle. Cracky, that's just way too much, but those two are separate. I'm going to take these two. So we have the Four of Cups for you, Michelle. Almost like a fear of someone gossiping about you or talking about you, or it's coming in, that might be something that might come up for you. And there's a tower next to it, which is actually, to me, a good sign for this. It's like a crumbling away of a thought of anxiety around what people think about you, a crumbling away of that, and understanding that you no longer need to have that anxiety or those pangs of how people are perceiving you, because it's got nothing to do with how they perceive you. It's got everything to do with how you perceive yourself. And then if they can't handle that you're happy in who you are, then they won't be able to handle you being happy and move on to somebody else that they can project their, talking behind their back. But it's like your happiness frees you. And there's almost like getting to a point where you just go, I'm over feeling this anxious about what someone feels about me. I'm over it. And that's the crumbling tower that happens. Okay, so Jennifer. Yes, please. Jennifer. Okay, so tune into me too on Thursday mornings. I do live channelings, bring up messages of ascension for us to have a fuller understanding of where we're going, what we're doing. We've got a lot of new things coming up, because between now and 2026, I feel we're going to have more and more people being contacted, having telepathic gifts coming through. That's one of the first things that's going to happen when we start to embrace our feelings and so forth. So there's a lot of information coming through for those Thursday morning chats that are live. So we also have the High Priestess coming in for Jennifer. That's amazing, Jennifer, because that's a really good card. But it's funny, she's got this apple in her hand, and it's almost like, I'm the High Priestess. I can hold the poison in my hand. Like, to me, it's funny. I just saw it as Snow White's coming up a lot for me this morning, right? Snow White's, that witch's apple. And it's always like, I'm a priestess. I can handle anything. I can handle all of that poison. Be very careful in the fact that you're not creating more reality in your story or your life that is you holding more and more and more toxicity, because you know you can handle it. In the end, it's not that. It is that you can handle it, but is that really the reality you want to create? It'd be a lot easier if you put down the poison apple and have a free hand to go pick some better flowers and, go smell the roses, or walk up, turn around and walk behind her, and she can go through that gateway into that beautiful scenery and so forth. So just be aware that you're not bringing and holding on to other people or toxicity that you can handle. They also, you'll be holding lessons for others that others need to learn for themselves. So just be aware of that. Okay, Justin. Everything's gone. I'm gonna do that one. Everything fell down. Justin, I'm gonna get another pack actually. Justin. Justin, I just saw in my mind a table with all these crumbs in that you want to wipe it clean, and it's like no matter what you wipe, you feel like more crumbs are coming. It's like you're focused in on something to get rid of and more of it comes. It's like the focus in on that. They're now showing me you driving in traffic and then having someone cut in front of you, and then you're like, why do they do that? And you get angry and you're focused in on it. People are annoying, rah, 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 rah. And then the next time you go out, you have 2 people cut in front of you. And it's like your energy is focusing in. I'm not saying that that's the story. I'm just saying this is an example though. It's like your energy is focusing in on the crumbs on the table, and it is building more crumbs. It's like you're seeing more and more and more. No matter what you wipe, you end up creating more and more of that. Instead, just say to yourself, I'm not going to look at the table anymore. I'm going to go find myself a clean table. I'm going to find something else that I love that's making me feel good and focus in on that. And then when you go back to the dirty table, you'll find that someone, blew them off or something like that, and they're not there anymore because you started to focus on all my tables are clean. or when I'm driving in the traffic, everybody's like my reality is working with me instead of against me. I haven't even pulled a card for you, Justin. I'll just pull one card for you. So you have the wheel. So you're coming to the end of one cycle and start to begin a new cycle. And it's an understanding that whatever you focus in on is going to become more in your reality, a fuller understanding of that. So play with it. Even focus more on something and see if you see more of it. And then try, what I would do is say, well, I'm going to find 20-cent pieces everywhere. Try using your focus on something that you actually want to, and then you start finding 20-cent pieces everywhere or something like that. Or I see, I don't know, you can choose anything, but whatever you focus in on is going to start creating more. And that is the wheel turning from not through living a life where you thought that the outside world was pushing onto you. Instead, the wheel turns, and so you now realize that your inner dialogue is reflected out. Totally different story. Leanne. So for Leanne, we have the star. What a beautiful shining star. Wishes come true, but also becoming maybe more in the limelight, or maybe some, that you are shining where your family starts to see that you are creating the life that you actually desire. Be careful though, that she's vulnerable and she's dipping, her pots into the water and so forth. She's also interesting how she is. It's like that water's coming out of this one. I don't know if you can see it because it's quite reflective. But it's also, she's pouring water out of the one behind her as well. And to me, it's like, you know how the saying is waste not, want not? It's almost like they want to turn it around to there is no waste. like she's watering the garden behind you, and even if she pours it there, it's like there's a feeling of there is no waste. Whatever happens in your life was meant to happen for you to have learnt something or gained something, and so it is what it is, even if it felt difficult at the time. You can start to see that, and so you can embrace any sort of anything that comes at you that doesn't feel good now, because you just see it as something that's going to bring you into a better alignment for yourself, and so you're becoming the star of your own life. Yeah, it's so cool. And so you have the Six of Chalices on the back on the bottom of the packet. You're reuniting, but also past lives coming up as well, and a fuller understanding of yourself. Judgment's happening too, because the Judgment card was there as well. So a fuller understanding of your life. Anyway, I better move on to the next one. I get stuck sometimes. Annie. 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 Annie, so we have Temperance come up for you, which is a balance within yourself that finds it's like an angel here, right? I'm not religious at all, but I always see angels as higher benevolent beings. So when you find balance within yourself, you're finding your higher benevolence. Death was in reverse, so definitely a new beginning. And 10, it was all these cards kind of fell out together. 10 of Wands, which is finally releasing the load that you were carrying in the past over and over, to allow a new beginning to come in, and a Lover's card. So this could be in reflection to you meeting somebody beautiful that's reflecting something of, look, the same wings in the Temperance card as in the Lover's card. See at the back here up on the 8. It's like an angel with wings here. Same with this one here. Looks like the same one, but in the background, it's like you found peace within yourself. So you allow someone to come and reflect that peace, which is creating an even bigger angelic benevolence between the two of you. So it's a relationship that's going to withstand time coming in. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat then. Nice. Snizana. Four of Pentacles in reverse tells me that you need to release something. Stop holding on to something so tight that you think it's the only way to go somewhere, to do something. It's the only way. I have to hold this. I have to do this. I have to keep this up. When you do that, that is literally your logical mind not trusting to let go, and that your focus in on what you want end result will be there anyway. If you hold on to something too tight, you could be holding on to the past that was already meant for that stage and not for the future, and then you end up wrecking your future and just reliving the past, but it gets worse and worse and worse. Or you could be holding on to something that's just not feeling, it just gets heavier. It will just get heavier and heavier, even if it was something that did work for you. Nothing belongs to you. You are always constantly changing and creating a new path for yourself, and you can't do that when you're holding on to something so tight. You can't. It just keeps you in a loop. That's self-sabotaging. So this is a great thing, actually, because when you get this, when you really truly get that you can let go of anything in your life at any given moment, just keep letting go and trusting, you'll watch everything starting to come in that you always desired anyway, because you're like, I'm not holding on, I'm not letting go. I'm going to let go, and I'm trusting now. That in itself is going to bring you all of your desires, and those things that are meant for you will always be there for you, always come back for you. You can't let go of something that was meant to be yours in the beginning anyway. So I thought I sort of lost my place then, because it raced up to the end. This is my healing of 40-year partnership. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome. Hi, free chat. Good to see you. Okay, I'm lost. So I'm just going to choose somebody here because I'm lost as to who's next. Okay, Jennifer. Sorry, I sort of like go looking at the chat bar trying to figure it all out. Jennifer, you had 2 cards that came out just like that. So on one side, we have a life where you felt like everyone was at you. You got stabbed a million times. Life was just difficult. You couldn't get up. You felt like whenever you did try to get up, someone stabbed you again. But this card also represents enough is enough. And it also is, because it's a 10, it's like, I'm ready for this to be over. I see where I'm the common denominator in all of this, all of the knives going in my back. I'm the common denominator, and I am not doing this anymore. I am not being victim to anyone else's crap anymore. So it's a really good card of release. And the next card that you got, which is covering it, is the Wheel of Fortune. So fortune is in front of you when you stand up and say, nah, no more. It's like, you know what they're bringing up for me? The Matrix, where he just goes to the bullets, and the bullets are like firing at his hand. He's, no, it's not my reality. Sorry, not listening to those games anymore. Sorry, I'm worth more than you making me feel small. I'm not doing the small anymore. I'm better than that. I love who I am, and I'm worthy. Just like I projected outside of myself that you're more worthy than me, I'm not doing it anymore. And it's a whole new beginning for you coming up. Who else have we got here? I'm a bit lost. Shally. Shally, you got, wow, they're just coming out together. That's just, I thought it was 1 card, but it's 3. So you've got the King of Wands, which is standing your ground, knowing who you are, saying, I am the ruler of my reality, and I have the strength to back myself. Next to, weirdly enough, the 5 of Pentacles. Sorry, it landed on my computer. The 5 of Pentacles, which is saying, I am victim, I'm not worthy, I'm always outside, I'm the outsider, nobody cares about me, everyone else is getting things, I'm not getting things. So interesting. One opposite energy is that. Next to the 5 of Chalice, which is, which side are you going to focus on? Because he's got 3 cups fallen in front of him and 2 cups behind him that are still full. And he's looking at these 3 cups going, oh no, I've tipped over 3 cups. Those are empty. I don't have anything in my cups anymore. No, the love's gone. This is this card. This is this card, the poor me victim card sitting outside, right? And then, but behind him is a whole new beginning with 2 cups here that's full of everything that he desired. And he's like, what one are you going to focus on? Because what one you focus on is going to give you that, is going to gift you that. So I'll leave that one up to you. What else have we got here? Hey, Sasha. Okay, yes, please. I'm late. Sorry. You don't have to say sorry for being late. That's so funny. Okay, it is what it is, right? Sasha. Ace of Swords has come up for you, Sasha. Okay. So when we start to learn how to control our mind and we don't let our mind control us anymore, and we start to go to all of the negative talk, and we start to allow freedom within our minds to be able to create something new, this card comes up for a new beginning from the mind being in under the reins of your sovereign self. And so your soul is directing and your mind is there to only hold memory, so that you can gather information and use it as a practical means to ground things on earth, but it's not there to create anything new, because it cannot. It can only grab from the past, project to the future. So when you have a really good understanding of that, and that if your mind is putting you down, it's because your mind doesn't know how to get out of something. So then we have to go to it, which is your logical mind, and allow the intuition from the heart and the soul to be able to speak and come forth and guide us through life a lot easier. So yeah, there's an intelligence, a newfound intelligence in yourself then that is ready to be birthed. And that's really cool. What else have we got here? Sarah K. I love this family. It's so cool. Yeah, I've still got some really amazing things that I've manifested for next year coming. I can't wait to share you guys what's happening, but I can't just yet. I'm not going to just yet. I'm going to wait until this, it is an absolute, but until it's actually happening. But it's very exciting stuff. So Sarah K. And that's all to do with my career. Sarah K., we have the Nine of Chalice come up for you. So you're coming back to your innocent self and playing with life in the fashion of the power that you had with that innocence as a child. It's going to gift you whatever you desire in the end. It's a really nice card. And I just see, I'm going to break the... Yeah, you're turning into, it's interesting because the next card I pull for you is the Emperor. Emperor is a very serious person. He knows everything. He's in charge. He understands everything. So if you come at life with maturity and see life as through the innocence of yourself as a child with maturity, you end up becoming both Emperor and Empress. So the Emperor is serious, the child innocence is playful. Marry them together and you will become the whole of yourself. The Emperor knows he doesn't need to worry about anything. His home is within him. That's why it's represented here by a turtle who carries the home on his back. Our home is always within us. It's always us. So you could travel wherever you like in this world and you will still have the same issues coming up. You'll still see it magnified in a different story, but it will still be the same problems. Why? Because it is within you. So the only thing you need to change is within you. And then when you have a fuller, mature understanding of that, and then you bring back your innocence and play through life like a child, your life will just become so beautiful, because you won't put up with crap either, where a child can fall into victimization very quickly because it doesn't have the emperor of knowledge or wisdom that you have now. So interesting. See, but you're already in that playful energy, Sarah, so then you end up getting something. And see, that's what I mean. In reflection to our energy, we get what we are putting out is what we will receive. It's, if you're trying too hard for something, you will receive more trying too hard. It's really interesting. Play with it. Play with it. Okay, guys. Love you all. I'll be here next Tuesday, and I stopped with the community notices on me turning up on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because I always do, unless I tell you otherwise. I'll probably put up notices if I can't make it from now on. I'm also going to show you around my home. I think I'll do a video on that maybe next week. I have to upload all those videos for that. And any messages that come in, please look at my pineal gland wisdom. It's really important for us to have a fuller understanding of how amazingly gifted humanity is and where we can go. Remember, if you don't put your energy into something and imagine it, it will never come true anyway. So let's just at least imagine something beyond this. Let's try to imagine, telepathy, telekinesis, and that. Let's get our heads into a space where we can say these things do come from within us. And I've been taught that they do. So, and I've also had the experiences as well. I haven't teleported, but I have had experience of telekinesis and telepathy, absolutely. So I know that for real. And actually, the only thing I've had with teleportation is I was driving along one side of a town, and then all of a sudden I was on the other side of the town, and there's no way I could have got there in the time. It just sort of happened really quickly. I'm just like, how did that go? That was the closest I got, but I can't prove that. And it was a real surprise. So I don't understand it fully. So I don't usually talk about it. Anyway, love you guys heaps. There's much magic coming. And yeah, have a fabulous Christmas. I'll see what happens. Probably still go live next week anyway, knowing me, because it's who I am. But if I don't, I will give you a community notice. Love you guys. Have an absolutely fabulous Christmas, and I'll see you on Thursday. Okay, bye.